In the United States, we funnel more money into prisons than we do into education. 1.2 million students drop out of school each year. That's 1 every 26 seconds.
1 in 3 black men will end up in prison.
1 in 6 Hispanic men will end up in a box.
With the push of a button, hundreds of jail cells shut simultaneously.
With the money spent on that technology, a smartboard could be placed in a classroom.
Can you see it? 100 minds open with the push of a button. High school dropouts are 8 times more likely to go to prison.
So it's no wonder that more than 60% of all inmates are functionally illiterate.
Jonathan Martinez is 22 and hasn't seen the inside of a classroom since he was 15.
Traded in his cap and gown for an orange jumpsuit.
He sits in a cell wondering how I'm doing in college.
Traded in chalkboards for bars.
I sit in math class hoping he's okay.
No longer a classmate, but an inmate. Another mind wasted.
What could he have been?
How could he have changed the
Were
world?
you thinking ahead when you built our high schools to look like penitentiaries?
Placed us behind tiny desks in rooms with blank walls, divided us into rows, funneled us down hallways.
Our textbooks are bound with red tape.
Why don't you pass out handcuffs at graduation?
Replace lunch bells with sirens.
You can take our mugshots in place of class photos.
Education is not a privilege,
It is a right. We have the right to own our own minds. They are our most powerful tools.
Wasted with expectations of failure. We deserve an equal opportunity at this life.
From the moment we step foot into our high schools, we become a wager. The 7s and 11s of a craps game. Are we meant to learn numbers or be numbers? It is cheaper to hire guards than it is to hire teachers.
Now why students have been denied the opportunities that our government so proudly boasts of.
Is that why the American flag looks like prison bars when turned sideways?
Since 1995, the United States has spent more money building penitentiaries than it has building schools.
Keeping funds away from public schools shows our government's lack of faith in our students.
We are prisoners of our own inadequacies, cannot afford to fulfill the prophecies of these statistics.
We must break free from a sequence that repeats itself,
Repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself.
We are capable of being reciprocals of the fractions that don't make it past the high school diploma. It starts with change.
Put pencils in our hands so we don't need guns. Teach us science so we are able to solve the problems our ancestors created.
teach us the words that will allow us to speak up for our freedom.
The only hope for a conscious society is educated, thinking citizens.
How do you expect us to get there when we are being incarcerated?
Tear down the bars, set us free.
This is not what education has to be.
The future can be so much brighter than this.
Jonathan Martinez grew up believing there wasn't anything to grasp besides his sanity and survival.
He wakes up in the morning knowing there is more to life than living. It's time to break the mold, to rewrite the statistics. It's time we made education into what it could be, a ladder to our freedom.
Each step, the next plateau towards a brighter future.
There is so much promise hidden under the horizon.
If we could simply get there.
Imagine the view.
A world where our minds are our most powerful weapons.
Where we wield our words like clenched fists.
Lay down our arms and bring up our children so they know that our words can break borders
And end wars.
In this newfound understanding,
We'll finally breathe for the first time and say,
this is what opportunity looks like. Everybody is free.